time, we should never wait. So hi everyone, thank you once again for joining us this week for the second week of the HubSpot Summer Camp. Today we're going to be talking all about how to increase website traffic. 1 second. So we have a lot we want to cover today. This is why I'm insisting that we start on time, and the topic is again, how to increase website traffic. So what will you expect us to cover? First of all, it's Risa and Gal again. We are both going to help cover this because it's so much information. I could not talk straight for 90 minutes. So Gal offered to help me. So thank you, Gal.
Of course.
And this is what we will be covering today. First, we will go over the concepts of inbound marketing. And I ask you to bear with me. I know you think you know what inbound marketing is already. So you're like, Risa, let's skip that. But you have to understand that HubSpot is built on this methodology. So if you don't understand fully what is inbound marketing and how it's supposed to work, then you would miss some key concepts in how to set up your marketing campaigns in HubSpot. So we're going to spend some time just making sure that foundation is laid so you can understand what it is. And then I'm going to spend some time, just like a couple minutes, about inbound. Is inbound right for my business? Like answering that question. And again, the reason why I'm going to spend some time here is simply because many companies think that they're ready or should be using HubSpot, but sometimes they don't understand that even though they qualify for all the criteria of using HubSpot, their business or their marketing systems itself aren't yet prepared. So we will talk a bit about that. We'll also look at what does an inbound program look like. Like as a marketer, this is your goal, to build out inbound marketing campaigns. How do you begin? Where do you start? So we'll just give you that overall picture. And of course, we have to spend some time talking about buyer personas. Many of us don't ever do this. I am sure if I ask this question, how many of you have your buyer personas built in HubSpot? Most of you may say no. So we have to spend some time here because you must understand the importance of building your buyer personas, why they're needed, and what to do with them even after you build them. Because I think this is the biggest problem. People don't understand, how do I use the buyer persona after I've built it in HubSpot? And then we are going to deep dive into specific HubSpot tools that will allow you to do better attraction, to get you more website traffic and to get you more qualified leads especially. So we'll go over a couple of HubSpot tools that allows you to do that. And then we will try to show you by a case study exactly when you implement those tools correctly, how you can achieve the results you're looking for. We'll, of course, be open for any questions, but we will also have a section right after the questions where we talk about reporting, because of course it's important to understand which reports you should be using within HubSpot to track your attraction goals. And then we just summarize and take you away with some key takeaways so you can move forward. Now, I just want to emphasize before we start that we have this group on LinkedIn, and this is the group and this is the place for you to ask us questions if you have any questions. Gal and myself will monitor this group every single day because we may not be available by phone all the time or by WhatsApp or email, okay? We are inundated with client work usually during the day, but when we have 5 minutes or so, we can check on this LinkedIn group and see your questions and shoot you back an answer. So if you have a burning question and you can't reach us by email or phone, make sure you post it here. And also it will benefit the rest of the group. So this is exactly why you should take the time to post it here. Now, one of the key things I want us to accomplish at the end of this training, I just don't want you coming to this training, sitting down and listening to everything I have to say and leaving like, oh, that was nice, Risa, thank you. I actually want you to leave this training implementing some of the things we are doing. So I have created purposely a challenge within this summer camp, which means after every session, every week, I will post on the LinkedIn group, what is this week's challenge? And I expect that you will follow through it in some way. So last week, if you didn't see it, last week I posted about which technical aspect of HubSpot did you complete. So I want you to, just spend some time. You have a poll right now that I would launch that you can answer this question for me, because I want to understand and I want you to tell me if you are actually implementing some of the tactics we are covering here. So if you can quickly just, answer that poll and tell me from last week's session, did you go back into your HubSpot and do any of the above, or check at least any of the above to make sure it was done properly? All right, great. I see one person integrated their Gmail to Zoom. Another person filtered out their traffic. Nice, nice, guys. And another one, right, connected their website to HubSpot.
It seems like we have a presentation of everything here.
I know.
Good, good. It means that what we did last time was really helpful to some of the people here.
Exactly, exactly. So good to see that, you all managed to implement one or two of the things. And this is what I want. So after every session, look out for my challenge and try your best to get it done. Because if you do these little things, and these are just small little things you can do, and if you start doing these little things, you would see that by the end of the 6 weeks, you would have your HubSpot a bit further off than you initially wanted it. So don't shy away from doing it. Great. Thanks for your answers, guys. So moving on to the next slide, we're going to start diving into inbound marketing. And I want to force you to unmute yourself if you could, and just tell me, what do you think is inbound marketing? If anybody can just, I've unmuted you guys. So if you want, unmute yourself and just drop me and say what you think is inbound marketing. Let's see how many people really know their stuff.
Don't
Alice?
be shy.
Exactly. Now I have to call people. So let's do this like the teacher. Alice, you want to tell us? What is your interpretation of inbound?
Oh, I see Laura. Laura wants to speak. Yeah.
Yes. No, I have been asked to speak. I'm Alice.
Oh, okay.
Laura Alice.
Alice as well. I have to call her Alice because I keep looking for her on LinkedIn as Laura, and she never shows up because she has another name called Alice.
Oh,
it's actually
okay.
hyphenated. I'm Laura Alice, but everybody calls me Alice. So
Wow, nice.
Got it.
So tell us, what is inbound marketing, Alice?
Can I read from Google?
Sure, if it's that good, yes.
Inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is a technique for drawing customers to products and services via content marketing, social media marketing, search engine optimization, and branding.
Wow. So Alice just basically completed our entire course. We can now return into normalcy and finish this entire course in 5 minutes. So you're right, Alice. Inbound marketing is exactly what you described. But for those of us who may still be new to the concept, I just want to take you through the journey a bit about why we came up with inbound marketing, or not we, but why HubSpot really coined this term. So if you remember yourself a couple years ago, if you're old enough like mine, you would probably remember how many TV ads you used to see, right? So you may be watching your favorite program, and then suddenly, as a good point came in, you had an ad come up to you. You're driving on the highway today, you see on the island all these ads by Noor. This is also what you call traditional marketing. So billboards, TV ads, radio ads, these were the ads that were basically interrupting your experience, and they were very what you call marketing centric. So all these nice, Ogilvy and all those amazing agencies all over the world, these are the types of ads they're primarily known for, okay? And that's what we call traditional marketing. However, as time passed by, we noticed that you as a buyer, if you think of yourself, you today do not make a purchase decision without getting some kind of qualification or some kind of reassurance that the product you're about to purchase is really worth it. So you are very empowered in how you take your purchasing decisions. As small as it is, even the grocery that you go to, you will refer people and ask people around which grocery they prefer. So that's why you may be going to Shupasal instead of Tiftam, because you've done your research. When you want to buy that handbag or those nice pair of shoes from Amazon or wherever, I know Gal is my shopper here, because she's always guiding me to which online shopping experience I should have. You follow these brands because of what other people have said about them, and not just about what they say about themselves. So you're no longer just relying on one voice or one stream of thought to empower you or to even inform your purchase decisions. So inbound is about all adapting to this evolving buying behavior of human beings. We need to be able to make our own choices more and more, and inbound is facilitating that. So between traditional marketing, which is more marketer-centric, inbound is more customer-centric, because the goal in inbound is that you're focused on attracting customers through relevant and helpful content. Again, the key here is that you must be adding value. So sometimes in our own campaigns, we will start to notice that we're just pushing out content or pushing out campaigns because we have to, you know, this is the way we keep our jobs, you know, some of us marketers. So we know we have to produce 10 blog posts a month, so we push that out. But have we taken the time to really consider if this is really what the consumer wants or our prospects want? Is it going to be adding real value to their lives? And if we ask ourselves these kinds of questions, we would find that we would get better results from our marketing campaigns. So in essential, this is what inbound is all about. It's about attracting qualified prospects, but it's all about building trust and credibility for your business, okay? So it is all again about helping your marketing focus on getting found by customers. So when somebody puts you into Google search or somebody does any type of social media search about your business, your potential customers can find you. And what your role as an inbound marketer is to be helpful and to be human. Now that we have a lot of technology, it is very tempting to just automate everything and send out all these push emails. No, that's not the goal. We need to still realize that in our process, we must sound as if we are really a human interacting with a human and not just a robot or some chatbot that's saying everything. We need to consider our prospects, where they are in their journey, and give them helpful content at that part of their journey. So now let's consider a bit, is inbound right for your business? As I mentioned before, a lot of companies start with inbound, but they're not really sure if this is where they should be going. And why? It's because they get caught up in, as you know, doing the marketing tactics. But if you really want to find out if inbound is beneficial for your business, you can go through these 9 questions or these 9 sorts of, you know, value points that helps you to understand if it is relevant. So first of all, if you have a business that is selling what is called a highly considered purchase, meaning that it costs at least $9,000 and over to purchase your product, and people have to think, and it has to go through different levels of approval within a company, then yes, inbound is good for your business, because it means that the life cycle stage will be more than 1 minute. It's different from when you decide to go to the grocery or you buy an end consumer product, right? It's not going to be a quick purchase. It has to be something that is highly considered. If you're already spending a lot of money on lead generation as well, then yes, inbound is also beneficial for you, because you don't want to be just pushing out PPC ads for pushing out PPC ads' sake. Just today, I was talking to a client who says, well, I was doing PPC ads, but I was directing them to my website. Okay, so when they came to your homepage on your website, what did you expect them to do, you know? So if you don't really plan out that journey of what is next for that customer or that prospect in your plans, you will find that you're just spending money, and you need to think about how to really allocate those resources in a more useful way. As I mentioned before, if you have a significant average customer lifetime value, that inbound is worthwhile. If you rely heavily on RFPs are requests for proposals. So if you are requesting a lot of proposals for your purchase, then inbound is good for you as well. If you have a meaningful point of difference, now this is the startup world, right? We live in startup country. So we have a lot of tech companies doing very similar thing. You ever try to look at a cybersecurity list of companies in Israel and wonder what's the difference between each of them? Trust me, I'm confused myself. So it's very easy for us to produce more and more things, but not checking out what is our core difference between the other competitors. So inbound is also going to help you solve that. And some of the other things I think that are helpful in inbound is you having to understand and hear the hard truths from people, because when you expose yourself like that, it means that you have to open up yourself to criticism, because once you start doing inbound, which is social media posts and these different things, what you will find happening is that people will definitely say what they think about you. They had a bad experience. They're going to write about it on your social media profile, or they're just going to write about it anyway on social media and tag you on that profile. So you have to realize that once you start this process, you have to be willing to take the good and the bad, but know how to really spin the bad so it benefits your business. And if you have sales in different geographic boundaries as well, then inbound is good, because now you're trying to expand in so many territories. And as we've seen today, in a crisis like Corona, it is not just enough for us to have men on the field that will actually sell our product for us. We needed to find a way, especially in this year, to bring our leads to us. So inbound is really what is crazily improving and increasing leads for companies right now. And of course, you have to be ready for that culture shift, right? There's still so many companies that prefer to spend their money on a billboard on the highway when, you know, it's not bringing any results. You don't know, you can't measure any ROI on it. You don't know if people really saw it or what they did. But the point is, you do invest in that ad because that's what you know. So you have to figure out how to, you know, move your company from that level of marketing to the new level of marketing. And most importantly, God, if there's anything you take away from this presentation, take this point away. Inbound takes time. There's no way you're going to see results from today, from tomorrow with inbound marketing. So it varies. I can't put a definite figure, but for us, like when we are doing campaigns for clients, we always take a minimum of 3 months to see any results, because inbound depends on a lot of content, as you would see, and that takes time to build up. So don't get pushed into the corner that someone is hiring you or asking you to do inbound for their business, and then suddenly you're finding yourself committing to KPIs that you cannot reach within a month or even, you know, 2 months. These things take time to really build up and show results. So moving on to the next section, what does your inbound program look like? So as I said, I'm taking you from a high overview before we deep dive, okay? Because it's important for you to understand what are the elements you need for a good inbound program. So the first thing I want to ask you though, what do you think are the stages in the inbound methodology? And I will launch another poll to ask you this question. So you can answer it through the polling question. Here's my polling question. Wait, moving. Stop sharing this one. All right, next question. Good. So tell me, what do you think are the 4 stages of the inbound methodology before I divulge it for you? So just take a couple seconds and you can guess if you don't know it, but give me some feedback. Dum, dum, dum. Thank God I'm doing this course. I see lots of you. Imagine I have 3 different answers from everywhere. So I know there's some people now who are attending this course that should be doing HubSpot certificates, okay? All right, so of all the answers we received, the first one is correct, okay? So the inbound methodology is attract, convert, close, and delight. These are the stages of the inbound methodology. So thank you for that. So just to make sure you understand and for us to spend some time how it works. So the inbound methodology is basically this. It's the stages of how you take a prospect from a stranger, from not knowing anything about you, from actually coming to your site and being a visitor. Think about yourself window shopping. You're just looking through the window. You're not ready to buy yet. To walking into the store. Now you're a lead. You want to look around. You may want to purchase something. To actually becoming a customer after you find that lovely yellow dress that I'm wearing, and I could not resist when I saw it in the window. So this is your process of actually becoming a customer in using the inbound methodology. The only thing is that it happens online, not offline like I did. Okay? So these are the 4 stages. We are going to focus on this presentation on the attract stage today. And we will go through like the blogs, the SEO, the social media, and even PPC, because those are the main components that really help you to attract strangers to your website and convert them to visitors, okay? So just moving on to the next section, I want to emphasize right now, and this is a big mistake marketers make, okay? You cannot do inbound marketing by just doing one tactic. So sometimes you feel, okay, Risa, I'm doing blogs and this is amazing. I have a website up and my blogs are going. So I'm inbound marketer and I'm doing inbound marketing for my business. No, you now saw that there are 4 stages of inbound. So you must be able to carry your prospects through those different 4 stages for it to qualify as inbound. So if you're just doing blogs, that's not enough. If you're just doing email marketing, that's still not enough. If it is that you're just doing SEO, that's not enough either. Again, a word of caution, I am not suggesting that you try to do everything at once because that could also be overwhelming, but you must have the overarching plan that you will execute each element in different phases. So by the end of a specific period, they're all completed, and then you would have a complete inbound marketing funnel. So what are the fundamentals of inbound marketing really? Is the fact that you must have these 4 basic elements. You must have contacts, of course, because if you have no contacts, you have nobody to email or nobody to nurture. You must develop your buyer persona, and we will show you why shortly. But the point is the buyer personas are what will help you identify who is your ideal client. So even if you have it in your head, it's not enough to keep it in your head. You have to show and you have to use that buyer persona to inform all of your marketing decisions. You know, oftentimes I've heard of companies when they decide and they define the buyer persona, they actually print it out and stick it up all over their offices. So if this is something you need to do it, because everybody needs to be aware who is the target audience, okay? Actually, I'll tell you a joke. I was listening to a podcast and this marketer or salesperson was saying they went to meet this company, and this company, they met a group of salespeople and they were trying to pitch their products to the salespeople or to the management team rather. And the management team sat there and they kept saying, no, I don't think Joan would like that. So the salespeople were like, okay, show them another product. No, I don't think Joan would like that. All right, let's pull out another bag of tricks. He tried to show them another product. He's like, no, Joan will definitely not like that. So the sales guy got frustrated. He was like, who is Joan? Why is she not here in the meeting? So all the team started laughing because they realized this was an inside joke. Apparently, Joan was their avatar, which is their buyer persona. So in their company culture, they have it in their heads that they take no decision without considering what that buyer persona would actually want to do. So I thought that to be a really an amazing story, because if we align ourselves to our ideal clients, we won't do half of the things we are doing today in marketing, and we will find that we are wasting resources. So this is exactly why I want to spend some time in helping you understand the best way to develop your buyer persona today. The third thing that inbound marketing needs is content. I cannot tell you how many times I've started conversations with companies that bought HubSpot, of course. They're like, Risa, we have HubSpot. Can you come and set us up? And then I get there and they don't even have a website. They barely have a blog. They have nothing. And I'm like, guys, I can't do anything if you have nothing. You need minimum website and minimum a couple pieces of content, because the whole engine of inbound marketing is based on content. So if your website isn't ready, if your blog contents are not ready, if you don't have at least a couple blogs there, if you don't even have one gated piece of content to say, how do I convert people, then don't do inbound. It's not for you. This is not where you need to be just yet. So understand that you have to spend the time building that level first before you dive into inbound. And the last but not least are goals. You must define goals. You must define your KPIs, because inbound marketing is extremely measurable. You can measure every single step of the way in inbound marketing. But if you don't have goals, you will never be able to understand if what you're doing is good or bad for the company, right? So even if you don't know where to start in your goals, it's good to just look at what the industry average are. You can just Google things like this and then just set yourself those benchmarks to begin with. Also, another rule of thumb I often use is just looking at the history of the company, thinking about, you know, what I think could be achievable. Even if it's a whim in the air, choose something, start somewhere, because you have to have that as a measurable effect that you can decide whether this is working for you or not. And the last part of this process is mapping out your inbound marketing game plan. So of course you will have this recording after, and I urge you to take a screenshot of this and keep it, because this is actually the most important part of building your inbound marketing plan. You must have all of these things done to make sure that it's working well. You should start with taking inventory of your marketing assets and your tactics. So oftentimes you will start working with a company, or you'll find yourself with a new client and you're like, okay, where do we begin? This is where you begin. Look at all their marketing assets, take a list of it, understand what they've been doing in the beginning, how are they attracting leads, where are the leads coming from, what are the most popular sources. And once you understand that, then you can move to the next stage of researching and creating your target personas. And again, we will discuss this soon, but the main thing here is to talk to your salespeople or talk to customers to understand how come they found your company and became a customer in the first place. The third thing is about SEO. You can't do inbound without SEO, because remember, when we started, the first thing that people do when they're looking for your business is to Google you. If you don't have SEO, you will not show up. There are billions and billions of results on Google today. And Google, as you know, is changing their algorithms all the time. So even though SEO is a slow process to see results, it is still the most important process in the part of the inbound marketing game plan, because without it, you will never be visible. And of course, having, as I said, strategy and goals is important as well. And this is very personal to you and how you want to define it, but you should, you know, spend some time developing that strategy. Of course, look at your website as well. Sometimes we all think we have a good website, and then there's some marketers that they love to redesign a website. I think I met a company this week that redesigned their website 6 times in the last 2 years. And that's because they change marketing managers that often as well. So everybody who came in updated or changed their website. And I'm like, guys, stop. You don't need a new website. You need to make this work, okay? So no more rebranding if you don't need it. But if you have a very old website and it's not inbound ready, which I will show you how to make sure your website is inbound ready, then you need to actually spend some time there. And of course, making, publishing, and sharing content is also important. And as we mentioned, measuring and improving your plan. So now the exciting part. Are you ready? First, I'll give you a break. If you want to ask me any questions, did I say anything that you need to accomplish? Let me see. I see some questions coming in. Chat. Who is that John Avatar person? All right, good. All right, so let's talk buyer personas and the buyer's journey. 2 different things, but very related and very important that you actually do it. Wait, do I have a question again? Wait, hold on. No, okay. So for buyer personas, what is a buyer persona? So a buyer persona, as we all know, it's a semi-fictional representation of your ideal customer base. It's based on real data and some select educated speculation about your customer demographics, behaviors, motivations, and goals. So what does that mean? It means you don't make things up off of your head and just decide, okay, this is who I want. You actually do some research. You talk to customers, as I said, you talk to your salespersons, you talk to your team members, and you try to understand who are we going after as a company? Who's our ideal client? How do you really do this is to research about them, identify trends about those personas, and then create these persona profile stories, which I'll show you how to do in HubSpot soon. So when you're conducting persona research, you have to remember, you have to base it on actual research and not assumptions only, okay? Sometimes as a new business, you may not know this information, so you can assume in the beginning. But if you're an established business or you've been operating for at least 2 or 3 years, you have some level of customers by now, so you must understand what are the criteria that those customers have. And mind you, sometimes you will have great customers and sometimes you have some annoying customers. Don't go researching the annoying customers because these are not the people you want, right? You want those who are great customers to be representative of your buyer personas. Here are some sample research questions you can ask, you know. So I will give you this as a workbook at the end of the training, but really these are some of the questions you need to consider when building your sample persona. So what are their job roles? What are their titles? Which industries they come from? What are their goals? What are they trying to accomplish? What are their challenges? How do they learn about new information for their role? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they just visiting blogs or industry publications? And how do they use internet to research vendors or products? Okay. So as I mentioned, these are the 4 people you can get the most information from to build your buyer personas: current customers, past customers as well, prospects, and co-workers. So when you start asking people the right questions, which you will have a list of them at the end of this template, you will be able to understand how to build those personas, okay? Once your persona is built, you want to build like what is called a profile like this, where you have these different sections. First, you have like the background section, the demographics, the identifiers, meaning like the buzzwords and the mannerisms that they use, you know, because you want to be able to relate to that persona. So it's very important for you to understand the language. Are they very formal? Do they use some cliche words? How do they present themselves? So you can intersperse that into your content. And then, of course, understanding their goals. What is their most important goal? Are they more concerned about looking good at work, or are they concerned about achieving certain results for their company, you know? The next thing is that you want to look at their challenges, you know? What are the challenges that they are accomplishing or trying to overcome, both, you know, personally and professionally? Don't just mitigate the personal challenges. We also need to figure out how can you help? How does your business solve your persona's challenges and help them achieve their goals? And then you look at the common objections. Why would they not purchase your product? What are they avoiding, or what do they not want to do in your product? And the last is about just picking up some quotes. If you can figure out like little words or little phrases that they constantly use to describe you or their challenge or their pain or their solution, their ideal solution, try to pick up those phrases, because if you use those terms in the content that you're producing, you would find that your prospects are relating to you much, much better. So now let's look at how to build and use your persona in HubSpot. So I will just jump over to HubSpot so you can understand how that looks. So in HubSpot, in your settings tool, you have to go into properties. And if you look in the search box for persona, you would see it pop up. And in the persona box, you would now see that you have specific options, right? So if I wanted to add another persona here, here's where I put in the information about the persona. I can add, you know, a profile picture, and just for you to see actually how one really looks, so you understand how much you can add or not. You put a profile picture, you can have a little nickname for the person, a description of the person, and then you can put in other things. So this is the minimum you need. If you don't have all of this information, you don't have to put it in, but the more information you add here, the more helpful it is for you to identify who your persona is. So again, HubSpot has already predefined this template for you. So just get in here and fill out a couple ideal information about your personas. I don't suggest doing more than 4. I've done a lot in my personas because I was just excited one day and had nothing to do. But eventually, you should not try to produce more than 4, because you will not probably focus on more than 2 at a time. All right? So be careful about how you manage your personas. The next thing about using personas in HubSpot is that this is where I think most marketers don't get like, okay, so I build the persona and what do I do with it next? And this is what you do with it next. You have personas where you can put like questions in your forms, like what best describes me, and you can choose like either job roles or, you know, specific kind of questions that describes them that people can select. Okay, so you see like in this example, this person have job roles, while this person, they choose to use like a broader vision, a broader questioning and broader fields. So they said, tell us about yourself, and you have to choose, am I a business, a shopper, a partner, or other? So this helps to automatically now, once you have these questions set up in HubSpot, what happens is that you can build a workflow that will automatically associate, if anybody answers business, then they will be in your business persona. So if, just to show you again, if I go back to my HubSpot, you would notice that in the persona, I have a number of people assigned to these different things. And why? It's because I have like 108 contacts that are defined as Stephanie, the marketing vendor, or 300 contacts that are defined as freelancer Fiona. So I actually have a workflow, which I can show you, that I build in the back end. That is actually creating this for me. So if I know that the company is unknown, for example, I assume she's a freelancer, okay? I can have title criteria. For example, if her job title is CEO, like I have this for the CEO persona. Select CMO persona, like the CMO, right? If I say her job title is equal to VP of Marketing, CMO, Head of Marketing, then I want her to be associated to the persona that says Leanne, full-time CMO. So this is how you use it, because what's going to happen in the end is that now I can easily build contact lists and decide how am I going to nurture these different people. Because again, when we start doing lead nurturing, you would understand that the biggest benefit of using a platform like HubSpot is to put these different people in lists. So for example, anybody with a freelancer persona will be in this list. So I know that anybody who is not really associated with a company but have titles like consultant, some people even put freelancer or owner or anything like this, I have an idea that they most likely will be a freelancer. Compared to my CMO list, if I wanted to find the people who are CMOs, I can actually see that all these people fit the CMO list because they all have those top job titles. So if I wanted to send out an email blast specifically for the CMO persona, I can just pull this list and it will be very personalized and relevant for them. Because a CMO would want something different from a freelancer, right? They don't want the same exact things. So this is how you use personas in your HubSpot process. So now let's just look at the buyer's journey and how do you map the buyer's journey next. So what is the buyer's journey mostly is that it is the active research process someone goes through to leading up to a purchase. So unlike the buyer's, what was the first stage we did just now? You have my brain going crazy. So we did like the decision stage and the awareness stage, which was the inbound methodology, right? So now the buyer's journey is all about the awareness, consideration, and decision stage. So the buyer's journey is how does that buyer actually go through their purchasing consideration? And as you know, as a buyer yourself, when you become aware of a problem is when you become into the awareness stage. When you are, considering different options to solve your problem, you are in the consideration. Sorry, let's start over. When it is that you are aware you have a problem, you're in the awareness stage, right? When it is that you're trying to find different solutions to your problem, you are in the consideration stage. But when you have decided between one or two options, what you want to use to solve your problem, you are in the decision stage. So you as a marketer have to define how do you meet your prospects on these different stages of their buying journey. So you cannot push, for example, content that we call bottom of the funnel, which is like a case study, to someone who's in the awareness stage, right? They just became aware they have a problem. They just realized, hey, I'm tired and I need a vacation. They didn't decide they want to go on a vacation yet, or they didn't decide that they want to use your platform or your solution yet. They're just trying to figure out what's the best way to solve this issue. So on that stage, you have to produce content that is more like blogs and, you know, even podcasts or videos or anything like really top of the level content is what is fed in the awareness stage. When you're in the consideration stage, yes, you may want to push case studies as a B2B company, but I always advise at that stage, you want to give a little bit more helpful content. So you want to do like webinars, you want to do ebooks at this stage, or you want to do checklists or anything that gives a little bit more information and also serves the purpose of you collecting that information from them. So you want their email, you want to know more about them. So you have to be prepared to give a higher value content at this stage. But the decision stage is crucial. This is when they're going to decide whether they want to use you or not. So here you have to be aggressive, quote unquote, a bit aggressive, not Israeli style aggressive, but aggressive enough that you are going to give them things like comparing your products to others. So you give a product comparison sheet. You can give even a product sheet even about your own company. You can do a demo. You can do, you know, free trials at this stage and these different things. So the point is, at the attract stage, you want to provide content that meets the prospect at his stage of the journey. And this is your goal always at these stages. Don't get all over the place. Don't try to give people content when they're not really aware. So this is how you find and you get people to where you want them to be. All right?
Rita, can I add something?
Sure.
So just keep in mind that, like Rita said, there are different kind of content to each and every stage, but try to reach these people before the decision stage, because once they get there, they probably don't gonna hear you. They don't want to hear you because they already make their decision. So once you're doing your research and try to reach people, try to get them before this stage, because otherwise you're gonna waste your time and money about content and information and sending email to the wrong people. Go ahead, Rita, sorry.
Right, great. So I have one question to ask you. What do you think is the stage when a prospect has now clearly defined and given a name for their problem or opportunity? You can type it in the chat for me. Let me see it. Let me keep you engaged so you don't fall asleep. So you can type your answers in the chat or in the questions, Q&As. Now, Revital, in the meantime, as you type your chats, ask a question if I would do segmentation as a first step. So segmentation happens when you start collecting leads. So it's important that you do it as a first step, because you do need to eventually, you'd want to build out some type of email nurturing. So when I showed you the personas, for example, this is a good segmentation policy or segmentation rule that will help you identify the different contacts in your system. You may have many different levels of segmentation you would want to eventually do, but in the beginning, keep it simple. Just understand the different personas. Try to segment, if you have to segment based on regions, so North America compared to Europe. You know, these are the things that would help you segment the leads better. All right. So now is a good time when I get to take a break, and this is all Gal. So Gal, enjoy.
Thank you, Risa. So now that it's my turn,
Wait, just I have some questions. Let me answer some questions while you get set up.
Go ahead.
So what are the best ways to ask your customers really what you need to build buyer persona for starting companies? Okay, so I have, at the end of this, you will get a presentation, a kind of workbook rather, for building buyer personas, and it has all those questions in it. So you would see that, you know, sometimes you just want to ask them things like, what made you choose us? How did you become, and you ask this in a very normal conversation, right? So it's not like you try to set a call with the customer because people are busy. So you're not trying to set a call specifically to ask them this question. But what you can do is join a sales call, or you can, you know, in interaction with the salespeople or the customer, you can ask these questions lightly. So tell me, how did you find us? What were the channels that you were looking at to find a solution to your problem, for this to arrive to this solution? You know, how what are your favorite blogs, or where do you hang out usually on the internet? Do you like be on LinkedIn a lot? So you find the opportunities to do it. Don't be annoying about it, because I know some marketers get like pedantic about it, but try to intersperse this specific content into normal conversation. And if I was showing HubSpot how to set content, which content you can show to exact buyer persona. Yeah, but I'll show you, but most people don't host their blogs in HubSpot, and this is the problem. But I'll show it to you later after Gal goes through her track tactics, okay, when we get there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gal.
Thank you, Risa. So as Risa mentioned before, there are a few ways to implement and to basically do it in a tactic way. So the first one is to the website. Your website basically is a way for you to create everything from your design to your information that you're putting, basically everything. And in order to capture a successful in your inbound program, it's running 24/7 for you. So it's really, really important. So all the information is going to be clear and in the right place, so people can really find it and do the best, get the best out of it. So there are a few things that you can do in your website, like provide helpful content, webinars, ebooks, white paper, and put it on the right page, of course, in one place. You can optimize the search engine, all the SEO processes, from the page title to the page meta description, alt tags, the information that you put behind the images. So everything will be connected and talked in the same language. You can use as integration to CMS and marketing automation platform, that once a person do something, you can know about it and you can react accordingly. And of course, add personalized information. So if a person downloads one content, you can react in one way, but if a person registers to a blog or something else, you can react differently. You can create brand affinities, basically everything that you need in order to make your website talk in your language to the customers. So one of the main things that we're going to focus on is the SEO part. And HubSpot has an amazing, amazing tool for SEO. I know it's not going to basically delete the need for an SEO guy to help you do that. You also need a person who goes through your website, add all the information, make sure that there are no broken links, the content that you're writing is the right one, do all the keyword research. There are many tools that can give you even a deeper view for it, but for now, HubSpot can give you the first step how to do right and proper SEO to your content. And basically, how you start doing it is very, very simple. HubSpot has two different tools. So if I'll go into HubSpot and navigating into marketing and planning and strategy and navigating into SEO, this is a place for you to start and put all the information and URL that you want. The HubSpot will scan it. So like you see in here, we put our blog, our landing pages, and our own website. So HubSpot can scan the information out of all these pages and give us recommendations. And why is it so important? Because there are a few rules, key rules in SEO, that once you do that, you make sure your page is gonna rank better. If you're using keywords, if you're using, like I said before, titles and meta description and the alt tag. So all of these going to rank your page much, much better. So in order to start, if you didn't have any kind of information here, but click by add new URL, put your URL that you want this HubSpot will scan, and then you'll have it. You need to give it around 24 to 48 hours so it can scan it and give you the recommendations. But once you give it enough time, you can go ahead, come again, and click on view recommendation. This is the place for you to see what are the recommendations HubSpot is offering you to do in order to make your content better. So as you can see here, this is the recommendation. You can see how many pages are going to be affected from it. What is the impact, if it's high, low, medium, according to the number of pages, and of course, the major fix that you need to do, and how it's going to affect your page. If it's going to be a small thing that's not really going to change your rank, or a really good one that's going to change your rank completely. And then you can see the reason why you need to do these steps in order to be better. And it really gives you a reason, because sometimes you'll see that by adding the meta description, it will help your reader search engine, give them more information and understand what the page is about. It really helps you understand not just the high level, but to understand what the change is going to be affect. So by clicking on view pages, I can go ahead and fix in every single page according to what they suggest, and make sure that the page now going to be ranked better, like I said before. You can see how many people view these pages. And of course, once you change it, this page is going to be removed out of this list. It's really important for you to go and start with the pages that the impact is going to be much higher, and then the median, and of course the low. And don't waste all your time on pages that you see it's not going to make any kind of a change for you. More things that HubSpot is providing is topics, which topics is an entire new section that you need to understand. Topics for you, it's not just keywords, it's the entire content plan and the thinking behind it for you. By creating topic, it's a place for you to start planning your content strategy. And basically HubSpot give you a lot of tools to understand which topics are going to be better for you. So by click on add topic, you can search for the topic for the keywords that you think are good for you and interest for your clients and for your content. And as you can see, HubSpot is offering you, according to the topics and the information and the pages that you have, they're going to offer you topics that they think is relevant for you. You can see the monthly research volume and the difficulty to be part of it. So for example, if it's way too difficult, think about it that right now it's going to be extremely hard for your content to be part of it. But if you'll take this content or even something less hard, then it will be a good place for you to start. But you don't need to go and use the thing that HubSpot has recommended you just because they recommend, because sometimes they give you every topic in the world that is slightly related or related to your content. So you can go ahead and type in something that it is relevant for you. And like, for example, I'm in Hebrew. Like inbound marketing, the topic that we just said. You can see how many search volume and the difficulty it's going to be to set this kind of information. You can filter this out by different countries. If United States is not your target and France it is, so you can go ahead and change it accordingly. Basically, after you created your topic and you see all the information, it's time and go ahead and create all the content that's going to be related to it. So I'm going to show you a topic that we already created. This is called a cluster map. This is the place for you to put all the relevant keywords and the main one going to be in the middle. The main topic is going to be related to a specific page or a landing page or a piece of content, for example, a file, everything that you think that's going to serve your rank for this kind of topic. So once you put the middle information, it's time to go ahead and add subtopics by clicking on here, add subtopic keywords that's related to the main one. And in this place, you can go further down and make your content even more complex and dive deep into even more long-term keywords or basically everything that's related to it. This is the place for you to go ahead and plan according to the search volume, the country that you're interested in, and the next goal that you need to do in order to create content. So this is the first step for HubSpot, but it's not the only SEO tool that from HubSpot is providing. They also providing an SEO tool for your landing pages. So by navigating into marketing, website, and landing pages, and let's just go for one of the landing pages. This is just an example I created. You can see that if I'll navigate, you see here on the top, you have 4 tabs. You have content, this is the main page, the settings, all the backend information, and the optimize. This tab is the SEO tab. As you can see, HubSpot is giving you basically topics that they suggest you to change or add. For example, here you can see I have one recommendation. My page title is not exist, or basically I need to add at least less than 70 characters. So this page will rank better. And if I'll go even further down, I have the meta description for this page that is missing and I need to edit. So by navigating into the right place, as you can see here in the settings, I need to make this shorter and this shorter, longer. So HubSpot is telling you exactly what and when you need to change the information in order to this page perform better. So yes, you can do it for your landing pages and your blogs only if they're created in HubSpot. So every page that you create in HubSpot, they're going to tell you how basically you can change it. And this one tool is find very helpful on my side because a lot of customers is coming and they ask a lot of questions how we can connect this page to a specific campaign or to a specific keyword and make the connection between all the information. So as I show you the cluster page, this is the place for you to connect all the information. So Google, when they crawl and look for all the related content, this is how they're going to do that. They're going to see all the different connections between the pages and rank them not according to one page, but according to the entire cluster. So this is, from my side, is an amazing way to make your page act better. In the presentation, I add all the information that you need to basically see if you missed the video or you just prefer to look at it in a written place. So everything is here. And of course, HubSpot have a way to analyze the content performance. So if I'll go, one sec, I'll show you. Go outside of the page. If I click on topics and I'll click on the specific topic, and here you can see on the top, I have content performance. This is the place for you, of course, if you have enough information, this is the place for you to see what's the page per view, the bounce rate, you can see the subtopics, you can see all the different kind of information. You can, of course, add more this is another way to see the monthly searchers. This is the content that you're going to connect. Basically, everything that you want to see in one place. You can segment it according to different data range. And of course, this is only an example and it doesn't have any kind of information. You can see everything here is 0. But for example, let's see this one. You can see what piece of content and what is the subject, the subtopic keywords, and how they perform, and where people click on it. And this way, you don't need to go to use Google Analytics or a different kind of tool. This is a place for you to use everything under one place. And one thing that I'm pretty sure that you're gonna see, we just connected it, but let's see who maybe didn't connect. You can connect your, let's see here. You can connect your Google Search Console to HubSpot, and then you can get even accurate number to your analytics. So go ahead, click on topics, install it. You just need to go click on it, search for Google Search Console, connect it, and put your information, and that's it. 3 clicks and you're all set. As I told you before, you have all the information in the presentation. And we have blogging. Risa, do you want to do that, or? Risa?
Sorry,
no,
I was on mute. Yeah, so right. So the blogging part, I just want to talk about the blogs a bit because I have a question about it. So for the blogs in HubSpot, most companies do not host their blogs on HubSpot, right? You host it on your WordPress or wherever your website is. So the question that Nadia asked about connecting your blog to the content of the persona, you must host your blog on HubSpot for that to happen. So you cannot just do it because you're hosting a blog on WordPress. HubSpot also has a CMS platform, so you can build your website on HubSpot. So if you do that and you're using HubSpot pages, then you have many more functionalities. We don't plan to cover the CMS here, but I will do a webinar later on about HubSpot's CMS so you can see the difference between them and WordPress. There are very key differences. For example, smart content that you can build on website pages, and as you know, you pointed out here, the blogs, but without using HubSpot pages, you can't access those features. So as I said, it's not super important to have your blog on HubSpot. It's quite fine if you prefer it to be on WordPress, but if you're hosting your blog on HubSpot, you would have the ability to do more things on it. Okay.
Risa, I think that Revital have a question.
Let me see.
Yeah, she raised her hand.
Wait, Revital.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you're basically saying is, in order to have smart content, I need to, my page, like my website pages needs to be in HubSpot, right? The blogging,
Yes.
SEO as well, right?
Well, SEO you can manage both in and out of HubSpot, right? HubSpot is just giving you an extra boost in SEO if you do it, but you don't have to have things in HubSpot to get to use those SEO tools. You can use it if you have your pages on WordPress as well.
But I saw there's like a button there saying if you want to fix it. So I guess it can be done only
for landing pages. It's not for the website pages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're helping you optimize landing pages as well. So if it is that you have a landing page you built on HubSpot, you can optimize it for SEO as well.
Okay, great.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead, Gal.
Yeah. Okay. So social media is the fourth and last thing that we can do in HubSpot that can bring more value to to your content and to your visitors. And basically, people said that be where your audience is. So if your audience is using LinkedIn mostly, or Instagram, or YouTube, be there. Be there and give them the content they need, give them the ads they need, give them another place for them to contact you. Because once you give them another place to feel free and reach out to you, they're going to be even happier than your service than ever. Because think about it. You just bought an amazing shirt from ASOS, and I'm just saying ASOS out of the blue. I'm not buying from ASOS, sort of lie, but never mind. And and they have a place that you can go in Facebook and Instagram, and you can chat with them. So think about the amazing service they give, that you can go ahead into Facebook and ask them questions about returning, shipments, basically everything you need. So it gives you another level of connection between you and your customers and your audience, and even potential customers. So they feel like they can trust you and talk to you eye to eye on the same level. So this is another place for you that you can connect to HubSpot. And this is another place for you to feel free and publish your content, not even for payment, just like organic content, and give them a place to reach out to you by creating a live chat or by creating live videos, and basically another channel for them to reach. Risa, do you want to present how to connect that?
Which is, sorry, let me see where you reach social media. Yeah.
Perfect. So on HubSpot, you have, by navigating into settings and scrolling all the way to the bottom, click on marketing and then on social. This is the place for you to connect your accounts. Of course, you need to be super admin here and super admin in your company pages. So make sure you have the right permission before you do that. Click on connected account, and you have basically three to four options. You have Facebook and Instagram, which is one, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Once you click on that, it will ask you to fill out your information, choose the company page, and basically this is it. As you can see here, I can choose from the list of pages, of company pages that I have in Facebook. You can do it for each and every other channel that you have. And once you do that, you can go ahead into marketing and social and publish from here organic posts for the different channels you can choose for Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Just be aware that for LinkedIn, you can't tag people. You can hashtag, but you can't tag people because it's according to your connection, and HubSpot don't really know your connection. So you can't tag people. Just keep that in mind. For Twitter and Facebook, you can go ahead and do whatever you want. As you can see here, you have all the information, where you publish it, how many clicks, the interaction with it. So it gives you another view in this data range. And of course, you can monitor it and see who reacts to your information. You can come here and react to people from this page. You don't even need to go to your social pages one by one, Twitter and then Facebook and then LinkedIn, and look who comments on your post and then reach out to them. You can do everything from here on one place. So it will basically save you a lot of time. And of course, the last tab is report. You can see everything that you need in here, from the post you've been published, for the audience that has been touch your information, interaction, clicks, how many shares, impressions, basically everything that you need for social media kind of information. And I think this is the last part Oh, you have, of course, paid ads, right?
Yeah, so I'll do the paid ads because I wanted to go through something specific about this. So
Okay, go ahead. Do you want to share? I'll just keep sharing. Go talk.
yes, exactly. So paid ads, guys, it's like super, super important to understand paid ads, but I will share because I need to go into HubSpot.
No
So
problem. Yeah, I stopped.
let me do it. So some people, you know, they underestimate the use of using HubSpot for paid ads. And I don't have the time to go through every little detail about paid ads, but I want to stress a couple things about using PPC and using paid HubSpot ads tool really to manage your ads. The thing is, when you're doing PPC campaigns, you're going to use many campaigns, right? You're going to use many platforms. So you're going to be using Google AdWords, LinkedIn, Facebook, Quora, all those different platforms. And you generally want to get into one place where you can see what's happening on each of those platforms, as well as you want to see which ads are converting best. So when it is that you manage everything in HubSpot, this is how you're allowed to see it. And I will show you an example of how it looks. Wait. So if you look at this ads account, you would notice that once the ads are running, you can filter, first of all, on the top. You just have to connect it, of course. First, let me show you how. You go into settings. Everything that you're looking to connect in HubSpot is always in settings, so make sure it's there. And then you click on ads, marketing ads, and then you connect all the accounts you want to connect to. So here you can connect all the ad accounts. You can also, if you're doing lead forms within Facebook or LinkedIn, you can connect those lead forms as well. So those are called lead ads. If you have specific pixels you want to track on your site, you can add them here as well. And of course, if you want to measure ROI, so you can put like estimated revenue you're hoping to get, HubSpot will help you actually calculate the ROI on your ads. Once you have the ads running, you can choose by the accounts which ones you want to see. You can choose by the date periods and everything like this. So you're allowed to see a lot of information here. But what is typically most interesting, if I try to just go back a bit here, let's look from the January period. What you will see is not just, as I told you, impressions and clicks. What the ad tools don't generally give you, like Google Ads especially. Remember, people who click on Google Ads, like whether it's a search ad or a display ad, Google Ads don't have lead forms, right? So they're not capturing people's data. So HubSpot is going to associate those contacts that converted on those specific ads, so you can understand which ads are performing best. So when you do like a total contacts and you can check, you know, okay, I got 266 contacts from this ad, I can then, of course, this is LinkedIn, so it performs best. But if I look at the Google display ads that I want to understand which contacts are converting, I can click on it and it will drill down until it shows me the exact ad creative that brings in each contact. So this is a huge, huge advantage if you are using HubSpot ads tool to manage ads. And again, you still need the platforms to do a little bit more what I call detailed orientation of your ads. So you could set up your ads from HubSpot and you could set up your ads. Why is this not found? Oh, this account got disconnected because they spent too much money. So you have to you have to upgrade your ads tool in HubSpot if you're spending more than $10,000 a month on ads. This company is spending like $25,000 a month. So HubSpot actually disconnected them. But until they upgrade, the point is you can see all the creatives that the ads were doing. Let me see if I can find another account. Like, okay, I'll just show you in my account how it works, how it looks. So if I'm drilling down, like let's say this ad, and I wanted to see the performance of this ad, I can actually drill down and see that this was the ad copy, this was the text that was used for the ad, and then this is how many impressions, clicks, and contacts that I created. So it basically showed me I paid $1,000 to actually convert this contact. So it was not the best ad that I should have used, or I should have found a way to optimize the ads on my platform, right? So HubSpot is giving you, in a nutshell, exactly how your ad campaigns are performing. So you can track and optimize those ads all the time, so you get better results for your money. Because with this results, you would know that, okay, I should stop this ad, which I did immediately when I saw this cost. I was like, okay, why am I spending $1,000 for a contact? And then if it is that, especially when you have to kind of evaluate it to the service and to your final price, right? So is it worth spending $1,000 on a contact if your service or your end price isn't, near that? This was for a free workshop, so no, it wasn't worth it. So you can stop the ads immediately if you find the conversions are better, so you can optimize them and find ways to tweak them. So this is the advantage of doing it. One more thing about using HubSpot ad tool is you can create audience, and you can create audiences, which the platform, which the other platforms don't give you. They don't really give you the option to choose contact lists from your database, right? I mean, you have to export it and re-upload it, and they often have limits on how many contacts you should have, like LinkedIn especially. If your contact list isn't like about thousands, I think the minimum is 300 or something, you can't retarget people, you can't reach these people. So with the HubSpot audience tool, you can choose a specific list to retarget or a specific list to concentrate on. So for example, if I chose this list and I chose I wanted to retarget the people who signed up for this 6-week summer camp, it will allow me to do it depending on the account. I can just go and set up the different ads that I want to do, whether it's Facebook, create an audience name, create the audience, and launch it on Facebook. All right. So you have a good way here. These two things helping you, allowing you to manage your ads better, your ad spend better. And I think it's super, super important because you need to realize that you're spending money here, right? You don't want to just spend money for no reason. So you really want to check these questions and make sure it works. One more thing I want to go through with you, which I think this is my secret sauce, okay? So you're so lucky that you're getting to see this because I don't usually share this. But this is my secret sauce of how it is I optimize a client's PPC campaign. And it's all about building what I call the PPC content ad strategy. Most people do not spend the time doing this. They decide to do paid campaigns and they just simply launch a PPC campaign without spending time to understand and mapping out which content should be shown where. So I'm going to spend 5 minutes going through this strategy because, again, this is the second thing I want you to take away from this course. If it is that you're going to do PPC, use this template as a way to map out how you're going to build content for the different audiences. So when I start an ad campaign for a client, the first thing I think about is what's the first ad? And the goal of my first ad is not to attract leads, but to attract MQLs. And I'll explain why. If I'm going to spend money on attracting contacts, I want to make sure that I have a way of qualifying those people quickly. So when I offer them something like a webinar or a case study, these are more valuable assets that will allow people to fill out a little bit more information than their first name and their last name and their email address. I want to know things like their job titles. I want to even collect their business emails if possible. So if they don't give me their business emails, I want their company name, I want their website. And these are the information I want at the beginning when I do my first ad. So this is like trying to grab the cream of the crop fast, because again, you have to remember that companies want fast results, okay? They don't have time to wait forever. So we talked about organic SEO, which takes time. We now going to spend money on PPC. We need fast results, and we need good results as well, not just fast, but good. So this strategy of using the first ad that I produce to attract my ideal client is worth it. But what is going to happen? Some people that sign up there will be MQLs, which are qualified leads, more or less. But some people will just be visitors. They don't really care. They saw my ad. They may be interesting. They may be qualified, but they're really not ready. So let's look at the people who are visitors. The people who just came to that ad, and if they liked the ad or commented on the ad, so you know sometimes on Facebook and LinkedIn you can do that. So you see people liking and commenting. On Google AdWords, it's not possible. It's either you click or you don't. But Facebook and LinkedIn allows you to comment and link and like an ad because it appears in their news feed. So it doesn't look as if it's interrupted content. Most times they think it's the company's content. So when somebody does that and they don't click on the ad, I label them as an engaged audience. And then I retarget them with a version 2 of ad 1, which means I'm going to use a different copy that kind of creates some level of urgency that says, don't miss this webinar tonight. You have to sign up for this webinar today. This is what you can expect. You know, create some other copy that shows why they shouldn't miss out and create a fear of missing out, okay? Once I have that audience engaged, they should click on that ad. But some people will click the ad, but still not convert. So if they click the ad now, they landed on my landing page because every ad will either take them to a landing page or they will take them to a lead ad form within LinkedIn or Facebook. But if it's on Google AdWords, they will have to come to my landing page. And if I call this audience the landed audience, which means they came to my landing page, but they did not convert. They did not sign up that form. So again, what I will do with that audience, I will retarget them with another version 2 of ad 1, which will be for like 10 to 20 days. Because again, these people, they seem interested, but they're not that interested. So depending on how they're interacting and how I think this audience, how fickle I think my audience is, I will retarget them with another version 2 of ad 1, which is the same I can do for the one before. Now, if they still don't convert, I will send them, retarget them with sometimes a general or lighter piece of content. So instead of asking them to sign up for a webinar or case study, then I give them something related like a checklist or ebook or something that is less committing for them to actually convert. So it means now in this checklist or the ebook, I'm not going to ask for job title. I'm not going to ask for phone number. I'm just going to ask first name, last name, email address, because obviously for some reason, they don't want to give so much information upfront in the beginning. So they just want to give us a check. They would just want to give us their email and name, and they would want some piece of content because it shows that they had some interest, right? Because remember, they clicked the ad, they landed on the landing page, but they refused to move on, okay? Now, the next audience is once they convert. So the contact has converted, they signed up my form, and now I own that audience, right? So once I own that audience, the next level of retargeting that I can do is either to get them into a further stage of the funnel, which means I want them to sign up for a free trial or a demo or speak to a salesperson, or I want to nurture them in a way that they will become an MQL. So I will usually just use here in this specific case, because this own audience converted on my checklist or my ebook, I don't want to send them to the bottom of the funnel yet and give them a free trial. But now I start giving them what is called middle of the funnel content mixed with top of the funnel. So I will nurture them either with blogs, ebook, case studies, or I will retarget them with case studies, ebooks, and webinars, upcoming webinars again. Not the same webinar that happened before, but the next webinar that's coming, I can retarget them again on that. Okay? I will take your questions after, but I just want to finish this so you can have the picture. Again, this is recorded, so you'll have my secret sauce with you forever. But I hope you see success with your PPC when you do it.
Risa, people are asking if you're going to share the presentation as well or just the recording?
No, just the recording they will get. They can do a nice screenshot after.
Cool.
So for the MQLs, the MQL part now is where we actually now use the contact converted and the owned audience. So for the MQLs that actually converted on the first ad, the goal here now is to enter them into nurture to get them, doing something more. We want them to convert to an SQL at this point, a sales qualified lead. So we want them to book a meeting with your sales reps or do a demo. So here we are going to put them into nurture that uses product videos, case studies, gives them some social proof that you won an award. This is why you're the best. So you've been recognized by Gartner or by whoever. So this is why they should work with you. So these are contacts that converted on my ad, right? They signed up for my webinar or downloaded my case study. So I'm rushing to get them to speak to a salesperson. So I'm not going to spend time sending them blogs or anything like that because they have shown interest in that first ad that I chose when I wanted really my ideal client to come in. Now that if they did not book the meeting, now they come through my nurtures, but they didn't book the meeting with my sales rep, I usually build the nurture for the ads based on the topic that the first content was on. So if my webinar topic was on something like how to make trucks faster, then I will give them content more about how to make trucks faster. If the case study was about that, I will give them content about that in the own audience. But again, if they did not convert or they didn't book a meeting, then I find a way to space them in a second nurture that will be more industrial persona focused, because now I have more information about them, right? I have their job title and I know their companies, so I know their industries. So I can actually put them in a nurture that is like for financial companies as opposed to manufacturing companies, or I can put them in a nurture that is like for top of the level management, which are CEOs or CIOs or CTOs, compared to the middle level management, which are more like, let's call them, engineers or, technical people. So I can separate my audience here and do another level of retargeting where I'm actually showing them product videos as well, but nurturing them in this way. Because remember, with nurtures, you can actually lose some of your audience because people unsubscribe often. So if they're unsubscribing, you still want them to see your product online, so you can retarget them with those content. But as I showed you just now, you would have all of these people in different lists in HubSpot. So you can create different audiences to retarget those people appropriately. Don't be annoying, don't be lazy. Take the time to build out this PPC strategy because it will change your game tremendously. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you exactly what happens when you build a proper content strategy for PPC. I'll come back to this, but I'll show you the case study. So there's this B2B tech client that we worked with for the first 6 months of 2020. When we started with them, they barely had traffic, they barely had any leads. And you would see from our efforts, now we did a whole total round with this company, right? So we did everything for them. We are like their marketing team. We do organic, we do SEO, we do blogs, we do PPC, we do HubSpot management, we do the webinars, we do everything. The VP is there. Exactly, we do content. The VP is there for strategy mostly and for guiding us through the process. But with our experience of how to really strategize and make things happen in tactical ways, we were able to drive their traffic, as you see, from under 10,000 to over 20,000 within the first 5 months, not even 6 months, 5 months. And we did this in the toughest times of the year. March was in the middle of Corona. April was in the midst of Corona. And we got the best engagement in this time. You would see our organic search because of the tools Gal just showed you. We saw a 65% increase in organic traffic coming from our efforts in organic SEO. So even though SEO takes time, we didn't see results quickly. We saw it over time and it still happened rather quickly because in March, it was already up from what it was in February. And April, it continued to climb. And again, in May, it went up to over 4,000 contacts. But what was most amazing is that exact PPC strategy I just showed you. You would notice organic only brought me just over 4,000 leads. But PPC traffic brought us over 8,000 leads in this period because what happened doing that exact content strategy we are mapping out and telling you how to actually retarget people, we got the best people to convert faster. So we were able to increase their PPC traffic by 300% basically. And when you look at the lead how the lead growth happened from having 84 leads in January to climbing up to over 1,500 leads in May, it's nothing short of amazing because no company really could achieve this, especially when they are struggling and they're trying to figure out how to do everything with PPC and how to do everything with organic and in the midst of Corona and what more could be happening. So this lead count helped us to get there. With all those efforts, we were able to increase their leads. And again, as I showed you, I'm not just going after leads, right? My strategy is always to get MQLs. So what you would see that after all of this, we were able to generate 75% of these leads here were actually MQLs. I don't have that chart in here, but you can see it in a video in our social media profiles, that 75% of the leads we generated were qualified leads. And that's a huge, huge success, because PPC generally brings in junk leads. People will always complain that PPC is not bringing in accurate leads. We get a lot of Gmail addresses and we get a lot of junk leads. And that was our problem as well. But when we implemented this strategy, because we had ways to find other tunes of collecting information from people, eventually those people with Gmail addresses and everything were converting. And in the end, you can see that when we looked across the board for the first 5 months of 2020, paid social and paid search were our biggest traffic generators for leads. So it shows you how important it is to have that PPC strategy well. And then, email marketing was our third. So email marketing supported our PPC strategy. And then, of course, direct traffic, because of SEO and other purposes, we were able to get more and more traffic in and more leads in. So I'll stop and take a questions, because I see you have many questions.
And because we're overseed our time.
Yes, and we almost finished, right? Right, so let me see. We have any questions, Gal? You see any more questions?
Go to the Q&A section. You have 8.
I know, but it's not clicking for me. Why?
Okay, do you want to read it to you? Okay, we have next question. What's the best way to ask your customer what you need to build buyer persona for starting companies?
I answered that. This was about I told her to just do it a very formal way and not, pressure them too much.
Okay. Will you show in HubSpot how to set content, which content you can show to exact buyer persona? I saw there is an option in HubSpot like that.
So I answered that one as well. It's about the blogs. You can't do it without the blogs being hosted in HubSpot.
Okay. I guess this is a place I tried to check. Never mind. Any tips for WordPress integration, considering this in the comment in CMS is used?
Yeah, so we covered this last week. So WordPress integration is pretty easy. There's a plugin. If you just see it if you go into HubSpot, let me just show you.
No, it's actually, if you're going into WordPress, there's you're going into plugin, and then you can download the plugin called HubSpot all-in-one forms, landing pages, and chatbot. You download it. You need to go inside and activate it. It will ask you to put your portal ID, which is basically, you can find it under your name on the top right of the screen. You have your name. You can find your portal ID over there, and you put it in your WordPress, and basically the tracking code and everything will connect directly, and you don't need to go and put tracking code or something into your WordPress. Yeah, if you don't want to use in code. This is one way. Or as Rita is showing right now, this is the tracking code by navigating into settings, reports, and tracking code, and sometimes you just open as tracking code. You need to copy this code and go on the bottom of every single template that you're using. The bottom of the tag is body. Right before the close for the body, you need to put it over there, and this is the place for you to do that. So this was the answer. Let's see.
Vital, you have a question? Go ahead. Vital?
Not me.
Okay.
Hi.
I saw your hand raised. Do you still have a question?
No, it was before.
Oh, okay. All right. So any more questions?
Yeah, we have a few more. This ad option come along with marketing professional subscription?
Yes, it does. It's up to $10,000 ad spend though. If you cross $10,000, you have to pay another $100 to expand it to $50,000.
Okay. So it looks like HubSpot is very smart and intuitive software that only trained professional marketing specialist can use, not operation manager like me, as it includes also data management and intelligence skills. So we can use just any basic skill at HubSpot inbound or outsource experts need to have to rock it and use all HubSpot features.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it takes time to learn them. Even professional marketers have to take time to learn HubSpot. So it's not super easy. It's not super hard, sorry.
It's not
but
super
you
hard.
need to take your time and understand it's a learning curve. Everyone could learn HubSpot. I learned it on my own. This is how I'm an expert. I'm not really an expert. I didn't go anywhere to learn HubSpot. I just sat for hours and went through all their videos and content. So, and with experience of working with clients and different companies, you would learn more. But my suggestion is to start with the academy, start with these training sessions that you're attending with us, listen to the best practices, and you can get it. I think anybody could be trained on HubSpot perfectly in 1 year if you're really dedicated to the work and the process of learning. So it's not that steep learning curve. It's less than an MBA or degree that you're going to invest in. So might as well do it because it's the most useful thing.
It really depends on how many learning do you want to do, but yes, we all do a lot of training, and HubSpot is giving you an open academy, so you can go inside and do certificates. They give you videos and explanation and tasks so you can try yourself. So you don't need to pay a lot of money. You just need to go inside and have the time to invest in it. This is basically everything. We have another question, Risa. SEO data. Can you connect 2 to 4 different websites to HubSpot to read the data? I have professional HubSpot and I want to use it to support 2 to 4 small businesses who do not have budget to keep 1K monthly subscription before they scale.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the answer is yes and no. But if you actually want to update and add more domains, you have to pay. So it's not as expensive. I don't remember the price, but you do pay extra to add more than 1 domain to HubSpot. But it's possible. So I can tell you, if you want, email me that question and I can get you the price for it.
That's it. I think that we have everything.
So I just want to wrap up with 2 important points. So bear with me. I know we're over the time, but it's important that I cover this for you as well. So what are the reports that you can use in HubSpot really for managing the track traffic, right? So in reports analytics tools, you will come across and you will see a couple of different reports that you can use. I'm going to suggest to you that for Attract, you have the traffic analytics report, you have website analytics, but it's only relevant if it could show you your landing pages and your blog, but it's really only relevant if you are using the website pages of HubSpot or your blog pages on HubSpot. But if not, you have to use the landing pages and contact analytics. So these are the 3 that really help you measure everything. And just to show you, this is the traffic analytics report. Again, it will give you all the information about which channels are bringing you the most traffic. If you drill down, you can see in order which ones are the most popular. But if you drill down, it will also tell you which platforms are bringing you the most contacts. So this is how it works and which campaigns and everything. So each one of them, you can drill down and see more. The website analytics.
Wait, Risa, wait, go ahead, please. Thank you. Scroll a bit up. Not just that, you can get from this the traffic analytics, you can get, even if you see on the top, you have source, topic cluster, pages, and UTM parameters. So basically, if you want to get more information about the content that you're creating, the topic cluster that I just show you how to create, or pages, which will show you the website pages because of the tracking code, this is the place for you to go inside, not need to go to Google Analytics and filter the information. For example, if you want to see blogs and your blogs is created by /blogfest, you can click on the search bar over here and segment the information from this. You can segment the information from basically everything that you want, and not just getting landing pages, by getting everything. And also UTM parameters. So if you create specific URLs to specific people. For example, you have a campaign and you want partners to publish it and different sources. So you create for them a tracking URL, and this is the place for you to see which one is getting the most traction and which one is performed better. So this is another way for you to see this information, and this is an amazing, amazing report.
Yeah, thank you for that, Gal. Thanks.
Of course.
So the other report, as I showed you, is the website analytics. But if your website is not hosted on HubSpot, the best it will give you is the landing pages. So you can use it to show how your landing pages are performing. And you can see, you know, which landing pages had the most submissions, which ones had the most views, and optimize them accordingly using the SEO tools that Gal pointed out. And then the last good one is the contact analytics. And I like using this because sometimes I just want to see on a view how my contacts are performing from different sources. And you can choose it, right? You can choose either by source, by life cycle stage. You can choose, you know, by country. So you can manipulate this report to show which contacts, how your contacts are spread out in your database, and understand exactly how to segment them better. So for Revital, who asked a question earlier about segmentation, this report can help you understand what are the best rules for segmentation, because you can see how your contacts are coming in and what are the different spaces they are in. Okay. So guys, this is it for us. The last thing I want to stress is I would send you this link in the email update when I send you the recording, that our challenge this week is that I want you guys to build out your buyer persona profiles in HubSpot. So do take the time to click this link, and I will send you the link in the email that you can build out your template. It's a template, actually. You can just fill out the questions to build out your buyer persona profile and then add it in HubSpot as I showed you. As I said, it is the most important thing. It will really help you understand how to plan your campaigns and get the most out of the whole process. Okay?
So take your time and invest really good thinking. And it's not just practice, it's really a place for you to implement it for your company. So don't just play with it. Think, consult with the right people. If it's the sale, ask them who is the right people. They talked with them. Who is, according to the current customers, who is the people that they think is the most right people to close a deal. According to this information and according to search that you can do online, you can find the right people that are going to be interested in your product and eventually close the deal with you.
Great, thank you. So in the interest of time, I don't want to pick up any more of your time, but if you have any urgent questions, again, do put it in the group in LinkedIn. We can answer it there. You can shoot us an email. We are super busy during this period though, so forgive us if our answers are delayed, but reach out to us and we will do our best to answer you. But you know, be active in the LinkedIn group, because we check that at midnight and 1 a.m. in the morning when we're still up. So it's the best place for us to respond to you quickly. Okay, I hate checking my emails. So if you send me lots of emails, most likely you wouldn't get an answer until 3 days after. So
you and me both.
So thank you so much everyone for joining us today. Let me see, I have one more question probably. Yeah, great guys, thank you so much. I'm happy that you got a lot of information out of this. I beg you to be on time for these training sessions because we have so much to cover. We don't want to wait too long. We start 5 p.m. sharp. So if you want to join the next session you plan on, just make sure you join on time. So even join 5 minutes before so we can get things rolling. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye.
Bye.